Hey there. So, how often have you read a book or a blog post or a video or a course and thought this is great? Or maybe you bought it intending to read it or watch it. And whether you watched it, read it, or didn't, nothing happened. Right? Everyone's been there. And what I want to share with you from what I've been through personally is really that key towards getting value here from this course. Right? You're here because you want to make more money. Right? And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. You should. But the only way that you're going to make more money, if you want to change your money, first you have to change yourself. Now, for me, I went through that. I've been through that many times. I have 10 children now. I only got married 8 years ago. Went from 0 kids to 10 in 8 years. About half are adopted. I went from $72,000 per year, right? About 150,000, 200,000 reais per year, and raised that by 11 times to $800,000 per year, right? Or more than 2 million reais per year in how much money I make because I changed myself. I didn't wait for other people, right? Everyone can surround you, can give you the right tools. We can, your company can, but it's not going to matter unless you make the changes you need to make in your life, whether it's at work or home, to see that difference. So, right, Aaron Ross, right, and I've written different books in different languages. Obviously, this is the one hopefully you've read or heard of, Receita Previsível, called Predictable Revenue in the United States. And what's interesting is I never expected to be an expert or a leader in sales. Right? Who dreams about that when you're a child? It wasn't me. Right? I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be an astronaut or pilot. I didn't even know what sales was until I had a company that failed. So I learned late in life, I would say. Late 20s, really what it means to sell and how important that is and how sales is a life skill. If you don't know much about my background, I started this journey around sales about 15 years ago, right? A little more than that actually, almost 20 years ago, when I had a company called Lease Exchange and raised millions of dollars in funding, in venture capital, right? Millions of dollars. And the company went out of business. It went bankrupt. And one of the reasons that happened, and I was still young, but one of the reasons it went bankrupt is because I, as the CEO, didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to sell as a profession. I didn't know how to sell as an expert. I hired a VP of sales. I figured, let him handle the sales. I don't want to do that. And when things weren't working, I didn't know how to fix it. So one of the lessons for me was, in order to make a lot of money and create a business that will be successful, and that's what you're doing, you have a business, right? You're running your own business. In order to really make that business work, I, as the CEO, you, need to know how to sell as a profession, as an expert. And that's why I went and found a job at Salesforce.com. And the only job they had was the lowest level, the entry level job of, answering the 800 line. So I went from being the CEO of a internet with millions of dollars internet company and 40 employees to being on the bottom. But I went there because I wanted to learn. And you can't learn by reading. You can, but the best way to learn is to take that and then do it. So for me, the way to learn to sell was to go sell. Okay? And you're selling every day already. So in working at Salesforce.com, right, I ended up seeing a problem. Something wasn't working. And then it took me a while, but I created a solution, right, this outbound sales system, right, that Universidade Previsível is helping take to Brazil, and the Receita Previsível book creates outbound sales system that helped Salesforce.com create actually hundreds of millions or $1 billion in extra revenue. And in learning how to create that system, I learned that you have to be able to create predictable results. In order to grow, how do you create predictable revenue? Taking that success at Salesforce.com, which of course has its ups and downs, everything does. There's no perfect job that's perfect all the time. Even in the job or business that you love the most in the world, or relationship, whether you're with a spouse or kids, you're going to have some days that are just really bad, that are horrible and suck. You can't be perfect all the time. Salesforce the same way. And left Salesforce, I was making a little bit of money. I didn't make a lot of money at Salesforce.com because I started at the bottom, but I learned a lot. I got paid to learn. And once I left Salesforce, I started to do more sales consulting. And I ended up writing the Receita Previsível book, the predictable revenue book. So one of the essential principles of predictable revenue, right, of Receita Previsível, is called sales specialization. For most teams, what that means is you have prospectors who prospect, so junior salespeople, and there's salespeople who close everything, and other salespeople who manage accounts. But in this case, ultimately, if you're one person running your own business, what that really means is you specialize your time. So for some people, that might mean that Monday is for one project, and maybe Tuesdays is to find new customers, and Thursdays or Fridays could be for different priorities that you have. So whether it's for 2 hours once a week or a whole day, you need to block out that time to get better, to learn a new technique and try it, and realize that it's going to take, for a very small number of you, you'll see instant results that are much, much better. But for most of you, for 90% of you, it's going to take weeks or months to take these ideas and apply them in a way that makes things better for you. And a lot of the times they're not going to work from day one. Right? You try one thing and then another, and it takes a lot of experimentation to find the technique or system that works for you, whether that's on how you manage your time, whether that's how you knock on the door or start talking to someone, whether that's how you measure what you do and track what you do. It takes a lot of time and energy to make those changes and then keep it up, right? Year after year. I've been doing this and growing fast for, I got married 8 years ago, right? And it's been constant, add a child, adopt, make more money, build a business, something goes wrong, something goes right. It's never ending. So don't quit. And I'm going to go back to, there's a lot of sources of learning, right? We have a lot here. Or there's other great sources of people that you can learn from, whether it's for your personal life, whether it's for your business life, sales life. But it's no good unless you decide to, hey, I'm going to pick one thing and use it and do something with it, and I'm not going to stop. If you put the time in to learn, to pick one or a very small number of main steps to start with, because you can only do one thing at a time or a very small number of things at a time, and you make the effort to make that change, right? I've seen my life completely transform, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. So you just need to go for it, right? Think bigger. And everyone needs help. Get a buddy, join a group. It's so easy to fall down. It's so easy to quit. So find ways that stop you from quitting, that stop you from giving up on the change that you know you need to make here, at least around money, and making more money with your business. Because ultimately it's up to you. You're the only one who can really make it work. So I know you can do it. Some of you will do it quickly in a big way. Some of you will take longer. It might take you a few years. Some of you, a few days, a few weeks. Stick to it. You got this.